Hello, welcome back to my channel. Happy 2021. Well, you've made it to 2021, well done. Today I'm going to be doing one of my upcycling projects. I really think I should rewrite the about thing on my YouTube channel to say a little bit about what I like to do. And maybe in a couple of months' time I could do a kind of, what do the kids say, Q&A on what my background is, what I'm trying to do with my channel, what you might find, all that sort of thing. Anyway, so when I was thinking of what project to do for my first one of 2021, I wanted to do something warm and cozy and using materials and bits and bobs that you would hopefully have if you're into crafting or sewing, hanging around at home. So let's get started. You will need some old socks. These are really old. They're going threadbare, so they've been donated to the project. Really good scissors and some sort of duvet cover, pillowcase, offcuts of curtains, anything like that. This is duvet cover and it's gotten really, really thin all along there, so it's not any fit for purpose anymore, but the rest of the fabric's really good. This is also a duvet cover. This one's really sweet, it's reversible, so you could do it out of something like that as well, like from a thrift store or charity shop, or even, when you've got kids that have kind of grown up and they no longer want dinosaurs, you can have a dinosaur Draught Excluder, why not? And then eventually you'll need a sewing machine. You could do this by hand, but unless you're using actual like duvet covers and things, stitching through upholstery fabric by hand is really tough on the hands. So take your socks. You could also use old t-shirts, anything that's like a knitted jersey stretchy thing, because we want it to be dense but not to fray. Let's take a sock. I'm literally going to cut, I don't know, what is that, half an inch, about a centimetre, and just keep cutting lots and lots. And you need really sharp scissors for this because it's hard enough on the hands anyway without using blunt scissors. There we go. That is 14 pairs of socks, that is. Look at that. I hope that's enough for a Draught Excluder. Otherwise we're going to have to go riddling around for more socks. So that's your stuffing for your Draught Excluder. So this duvet, oh gosh, you can tell how, look at that, really old and worn out this bit is. It's very, very brittle along those seams. But I want to be as economical as possible because I love this fabric. So I'm actually going to take the time to just quickly snip up the seam. And then that means that should I have a mad yearning to make myself a summer dress or something out of the rest of the fabric, I'll have only taken off what I need for this Draught Excluder and there'll be lots of usable fabric left. So even though it's an upcycling project, always try and think ahead about that, because it's not just about using stuff for the sake of it. It's about upcycling, isn't it? So some brittle cotton right there, which makes me think that I might have to make it double. I'm just going to do a test. Yeah, so if we stuff that and it gets caught on something, I'll be really unhappy. I've just measured my door where I want it to go. We've got like an outside door in our kitchen that goes to what's actually my studio, which sounds very grandiose. It's basically a shed with a polycarbonate roof. So it's freezing coming through that door. And mine was 3 feet wide, so that would extend over where the door actually opens, because you want a couple of inches or centimetres so that you can stop that draft. So this is over 6 foot, so that means I can literally just fold this in half. We know this edge is true because I just accidentally ripped a bit off of it. Well, I'm actually going to fold it again just so I can cut it, because my ruler's only 24 inches long, so I'm just going to cut with a rotary cutter, but you can use a biro, which I will be using in a minute, and a pair of scissors. So let's cut this edge bit off, and then I'm just going to measure. I think I want the finished size to be about 6 inches, so I'm just going to make like a giant sausage cushion. I'm not going to do like what's it called, a bolster style, a round style, only because I thought that would be a bit of a faff with the stuffing, and I could do that another time if anybody wants to know how to make a bolster cushion. I'll happily show you. So I want the finished size to be about 6 inches wide, 6 inches wide there. So I'm going to actually make it 8 inches across, so I've got a good seam allowance. Because the fabric's quite, what's a polite way of saying, worn out, I'm going to make it double, and I want to have a big seam allowance. So I'm going to have the seam allowance 1 inch. There we go. That's all we need to cut. So the bit we want is this bit. It's double. So there we are. Oh, do you know what? I'm such an idiot. I've only cut one side. So that's one side, but I wanted to have it double. Now I'm going to do the other one. So let's mix it up. I'm going to use scissors this time. And when you're cutting out fabric with scissors, just let your bottom blade sit on your work surface, and you'll find that your cutting's a lot more accurate. So now we have another piece. I'm just chopping that bit off. I'm going to turn them so that they're the same way round. Pretend this is like one piece of fabric now, and then put the other 2 pieces of fabric right sides together. Just match it up as best you can. You've got quite a lot of leeway because I've made it so there's an inch seam allowance all the way around. So I'm just going to pin this just to hold it together, and then I'm just going to measure and trim off the excess. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pin all the way around and come up here, and I'm going to leave an opening about... No, I've changed my mind. I'm going to pin all the way around, and I'm going to leave one end open because it'd be easier to stuff. And then at this end where it's going to be left open, I will just start it off with like a little cornery bit, and that just means when we go to turn the raw edges in when it's finished, there'll be something to turn it into, so it will finish off neatly, and hopefully you won't see too much of a difference between one end and the other. I mean, it's a Draught Excluder at the end of the day. So we're pinned and ready to go. We've got an opening left there, which will be a little bit wider than that. I'll actually start probably just 1 inch. Oh no, it'll have to be a bit more. Just go around the corner. Yeah, just a little bit more. Right, and now to the sewing machine. So now we've stitched it all. There's a little bit that clearly doesn't match up because I can't measure. So that's going to be interesting. It'll be fine. And you can see I've reinforced it with zigzag. I wouldn't normally do that. I'd normally just do a double line of straight stitch. But where this fabric's very tired, I think it's probably the safest thing to do because it means that the stress is going to be on different bits of fabric. So now what we need to do is clip off the corners, and we're going to turn it through in a minute. And I'm really not worried about this not matching up because I think I might top stitch the whole thing on the machine afterwards. I don't know. I might do, I might not. And now we're going to turn it through. Hopefully I've left enough space to turn it through. So just get the entire thing. And where it's so wide, you should be able to shake it through. Nearly. You can nearly shake it through. So you just need to get something that you can turn the corner through. So I'll just use a crochet hook. So just put your hand in. Don't use scissors. It's the fastest way I know to undo what you've just done. Just try and make them as neat as possible. That's not too bad. And then just need to do the same again here. But they completely don't match up, so we'll be folding one of them in slightly more. So there's our little Draught Excluder pillow thing. It just needs stuffing. So you don't want to stuff this tight. You know, it's not going to look like a sort of swimming noodle by the end of it. You need to be able to sort of gently push it into the bottom of the door or wherever you're using it. So you need a little bit of flexibility. If it's too tight, it just won't work in that way. So when you've put all your stuffing in, give it a floof down, and that's the finished product. And now I'm thinking I should make about 16 more to put in my sitting room because I haven't got a carpet in there and it's freezing. I hope you have a go at doing this, and if you would be interested in doing the round one, bolster style, drop me a comment and I'll show you how to do that. It's really easy. I just didn't fancy doing it for the stuffing purposes of this one. Oh, and I should just say thank you so much to all my new subscribers. You guys are awesome. I was hoping to get to 100 subscribers before the end of the year. I know that's not many, but to me it's a huge number. And I didn't quite make it by the end of 2020, but within a couple of days I did make it to over 100. So thank you, and please stick around and come back. Tell your friends, only if they say nice things. Okay, bye.